So, Chevrolet has a new Silverado coming out, the 2019 Silverado. And anytime there's a new truck, it creates excitement. It creates fresh competition. It creates great adventure in the marketplace. But I'd be remiss if I didn't look at the Silverado that's on sale now to show us why we should be excited for the new one. This is not a 2019 Silverado. Think I can get my hands on that one already? No, this is a 2018 Chevrolet Silverado. Specifically, this is a 2018 Chevy Silverado LTZ with a Z71 package and the Centennial Edition badging. So there's a lot going on here. So this one isn't cheap. This one is $62,000 as tested, which feels like a ton of money. I know I keep harping on the price thing, but everything is so expensive. But why is this one so expensive? Well, for a few reasons. This definitely does not have the 4.3 liter V6, which does make over 300 pound-feet of torque, so that's nice. This does not have the 5.3 liter V8, which makes around 355 horsepower and somewhere between 350 and 380 pound-feet of torque. Instead, this is optioned up to the 6.2 liter, which is making 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. And that seems like it would be wonderful, but this truck is equipped with the 8-speed automatic gearbox, and I have yet to drive a Chevy product with the 8-speed and enjoy that experience. That goes from Corvettes and Camaros, Cadillacs, to trucks and SUVs. The 10-speed cannot filter through the lineup fast enough, and it's definitely evident here on however they tuned it. The throttle tip-in, which is the point where you initially press the throttle, is dead. When you go like this, it makes some noise, and it has to kick down gears. Once you put your foot into it, it goes. It definitely goes. There's speed to be found here. I don't want to drive too fast because there's a Nissan hardbody in front of me, and I don't want to run up his ass in this big truck. But if you do, let me fall back for a second so you can shift your own here if you grab I like that this shifter's still up here. That's always nice. Grab it down a gear, put it back into D, we made some space, and then, as I was about to do that, so, I mean, it eventually goes. There's some good noise there, but it has a decent amount of size to move. This is a full-size truck. With this Centennial Edition badging, the Heritage badging, it's 22-inch wheels, which seems a bit overkill. The Silverado is offered with everything as small as 17s and all the way up to these 22s, though the more common wheel is an 18 or a 20-inch. This gets slightly more aggressive tires, so it does have the Z71 package as well, which swaps in monotube shocks up front, so there's a little bit more travel, and you can feel it. It's nice over the bumps, but then you're going to get a bit more nosedive and stuff like that comes with suspension with more travel. And this is not an off-road adventurer. It's just going to be a little bit more comfortable in the dirt if you do take it off-road compared to the regular Silverado. Now with the Silverado, there are so many Silverados to choose from. Regular cab, double cab, crew cab, then you got short box, then you got long box. There's the WT, which is the base work truck, not the Whiskey Tango, but the WT. Then I think it goes LT. Now there's another one in between WT and LT, and then there's LS. Maybe it's LS first, then LT, then LTZ, and then there's the High Country, which is like the Denali of the Silverado world. And then within that, there's LT1, LT2, LS1, LS2. So there's a lot of Silverados. It's a lot to squeeze into this brain, which doesn't have a lot of space left to begin with. But as far as the Silverado goes, it's a nice truck, but the Ford is better right now. The F-150 is definitely better. And the funny thing is, Chevy makes fun of Ford for using aluminum in its construction. Guess what Chevy's doing on the next Silverado? Now, for the bed, they're calling it mixed materials to save weight. They are not coming out saying aluminum in all their advertising, which I find hilarious. The bed on the 2019 Silverado, the floor is high-strength steel, or just it's steel, and then the bed sides and bed walls are aluminum. The funny part about all of that advertising and marketing that Chevy did to rip on Ford in those horrible ads is that, one, 95% of new trucks get a bed liner, And then two, no one is dumping their loads into the back of the truck like they did in that commercial and ripping up and creating big holes in their truck bed. If you load a truck like that, you're an idiot. So maybe Chevy thinks Ford owners are idiots. I don't know. Or maybe they think their own owners are idiots if they load their bed like that. I'm not going to say one way or the other. But I do know that those commercials are dumb. So by switching to those mixed materials, aluminum and steel and all that stuff, Chevy is shaving up to 450 pounds over this current generation Silverado. That's a massive amount of weight savings. That's your entire crew, your work crew in here, gone. You get to enjoy it and do what you want on the radio. But if you had your crew in here, this larger crew cab truck, there's a lot of space. Inside, it's very comfortable. The seat is great up front. There is tons of room behind me. If I decided to clone myself, I could comfortably sit behind myself, but then I think number two would complain because they weren't getting to drive, and then you get into a whole weird space-time thing, and Stephen Hawking just died, so we're not going to be able to sort it out because there are no more smart people left. So should you buy this truck? At $62,000, I don't think so. I think you should wait for the 2019 with newer features, and I really like the styling, the face, the way it wraps around. I think looks a little bit better than this truck. This is not a bad looking truck. The new one is much better looking. That's very subjective, of course, but with the drop in weight, the different engine options, because I think the 6.2 is slightly revised, but regardless, the transmission will make a huge difference. I personally would be very curious about the diesel with the 10-speed, some nice interior creature comforts. Then I think you have a pretty sweet truck on your hands. This is not a bad truck, and if you can score deals on these, which you should be able to do because this is an outgoing model, then you can think about it, especially because the Silverado still has best-in-class towing capability. If you equip it thusly, it can do 12,500 behind you. That's a lot to tow with a non-heavy-duty, super-duty vehicle. So it's a nice truck, but it is time for this Silverado to grow up because the current Ford is very good. There is a brand new Ram. The Toyota's all right. The Nissan's a Nissan. But this one is ready to, if you're going to be the number 2 truck and you want to battle for number 1, you got to really bring it. And this one doesn't really bring it, but it sounds like the 2019 Silverado is bringing it. That's a lot of bringing it, but I mean, I think it's going to do it. So we'll have to wait and see. But for now, this was a peek at what the 2018 has to offer. Stay tuned for an upcoming 2019 review when we eventually pry some keys away. By Chevy switching to these mixed, I'm going to get around this truck because they're going really slow. What are you doing, bro? 3-liter V6, the 5.3-liter V8, and the 6.2-liter V8. And the next generation of Silverado, there is going to be a 3-liter inline turbo diesel 6 offered, which is going to be very interesting. And then you're going to get the 6.2-liter as well. And I think they're still sticking the 5.3-liter in there for the next one. I don't know fully yet all the new truck specs. I do know there's going to be the 10-speed available on the diesel and the 6.2-liter. So those are the two engines they're going to push regardless because they're giving it the better gearbox. So you should wait. You shouldn't buy this one now. Let the 2018 fade away with all of its many special editions. This, however, is not that model. Think I can get my hands on that one yet? No one's driven that one yet. This is a 2018 model because I'm genuinely curious. Slow your roll, broski. I'm genuinely curious to see how the outgoing truck is going to stack up. This is a 2018 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 4-wheel drive LTZ Z71 Heritage Package truck. So it's got a lot of crap thrown at it. Sounds good though. Here we go.